This is Seth Porges from Popular Mechanics Magazine. I am here with the new Palm Pre on Sprint. This is the biggest phone launch Sprint has had in a very, very long time, and the Palm has had. And a lot of people are saying it's sort of the last grasp for survival for both Sprint and Palm. This is the hit they both sorely need. So we're putting it head to head with the other hot phone out right now, the iPhone 3G. So first we're going to look at how they differ physically. So you see the iPhone is quite a bit longer than the Pre, and it's a little bit thinner than the Pre. The Pre, however, is very nice for hands. It kind of fits perfectly into a hand and feels really, really good when you're making a phone call with it. The iPhone's sort of notorious for being a little bit kind of sharp when you're making a phone call physically. So this is actually very nice dimension-wise. It still fits into pockets well, even though it's a bit thicker than the iPhone. So the iPhone gets a lot of flack for being on AT&T's network, which is a little bit slow at times, doesn't get the best reception at times. So we're going to see how it compares to Sprint network in the middle of New York City when you're trying to load a web page. So at the same time, we're going to load the exact same web page, popularmechanics.com, and see which one goes first. As you can see, the Pre actually loaded much faster than the iPhone, at least in New York City. So the iPhone is known for having a very good multi-touch, capacitive touchscreen. The Pre has a touchscreen as well. It's also capacitive. In order to navigate through Windows, it uses a system called Cards, which sort of lets you swipe through all these different programs. It's multi-touch, but it also allows you to multitask, something the iPhone doesn't allow you to do. And what's really cool is that even when you're swiping through these things, you can tell they're all still running. So for instance, we are now in popularmechanics.com on the web browser, and even in this card view, if I flip the phone outside, you can see the accelerometer does a flip. So unlike the iPhone, the Pre, of course, is a keyboard. The keyboard is very rubbery feeling. It takes a little bit of getting used to. You'll find yourself probably typing with your fingernails more than your actual fingers, or else you might hit more than one key, and nobody wants to do that. It's pretty easy to use. It's not quite as good as the best BlackBerry keyboards, but really it's quite good for such a small keyboard. One of the coolest features of the Pre is the built-in ability to use inductive charging, so you can actually charge it without physically plugging it into the wall. It uses this accessory called a touchstone, and it's got this kind of sticky bottom. It sticks really, really well to tables, and then has magnets in it, and the magnets grip to this special back. It only works if you have this special rubberized back on it. So the touchstone actually takes the exact same charging cord that plugs directly into the phone. You plug it into the back of the touchstone, you plop your phone on it, and then it says charging battery. All in all, the Pre, it's a really cool phone. It features a lot of things the iPhone doesn't have. More or less universal search. You can't use it to search emails. It features integration, really, really good integration with all these email services. It took just seconds to load up my Gmail and Exchange accounts and my calendars. It features this feature they call Synergy, which they claim kind of merges all of your accounts from Facebook and your email into one kind of universal contact list, and it works quite well. I was really impressed. It also features Cut and Paste, something that isn't on the iPhone yet, but it's coming to new iPhone 3.0 software, which is coming out very, very soon. Overall, it's a very good phone. Is it an iPhone killer? Well, it's a strong competitor, and some people will always prefer this thing, but there's a lot of people who I think will find this to be a very, very good alternative to the iPhone. It's going to get better too. One thing is that the App Store is still very, very weak. There's only a couple of applications on it because it's a brand new phone, and Palm has been a little bit stingy with giving out the tools for developers to develop new applications. So once they get their hands on it, it might be a while before they get even close to catching up with the gazillions of applications on Apple's App Store. But once you get a couple more out there, it's going to be a really, really strong platform. It's a good phone. It runs very smoothly. It feels great. It looks great. I'm impressed.